Yo, guys. Week 3 is starting now. I'm gonna get this up a little bit late because I gotta finish some week 2s and then some other videos gotta go up. But here we are with some week 3. Starting things off in Black White OU. We have Marth versus Finchinator. Both these guys pretty solid. Marth, I don't know how good he is in Black White right now because he's a little rusty, but I know he went on that run in Smog Tour where he won like 4 Black White OU tours and just a regular Smog Tour. And I know he's pretty well recognized as being a high level player, even though your boy kind of destroyed him. That was back when I was in my prime. No, I'm not my prime anymore, but and then we got Finch, the man who taught me everything I know about life, except he's not really a man, but beside the point. I'm just playing, but so Finch is bringing about the most whorish black white offense team that you can bring. We got some Spike Stack, Zam, Gladios, Rotom W. Finch playing for that W. Finch is playing for that W. Whereas Marth is bringing some balance, leaning towards semi-stall. A matter of fact, outside of Excadrill, which Excadrill can be bulky and stuff, that pretty much is semi-stall. And I haven't even started the game yet, and all the people in the chat are spamming in. But things look real good for Finch because Marth's team does not handle spikes well, seeing as how 5 out of 6 are weak and he has no way to remove them. And spikes down, we all know what Alakazam can do. If this was Life Orb Zam, it would just be GG for Marth, but in Black White, they are almost always Focus Sash, so that's probably not the case, but Specs Latios also puts a number in once T-Tar goes down, because everything else gets creamed by Draco, Psyshock, HP Fire, Surf. So full moveset, but, you know. If it's Specs, Latios, or if it's Life Orb rather, because it can change up moves. Specs can still do some work. Rotom is going to be annoying because you really only have Amoonguss, and Amoonguss is pretty easy to play around, especially if it's the conventional CB tar that's on this team. But yeah, that's just about it. Marth can definitely win depending on how he plays as far as pressuring Skarmory with Heatran. My foot itches, dude. That's not right. But pressuring Skarmory with Heatran. Maybe he has something like Fire Blast Tar. Maybe playing, I don't know, like playing well with Amoonguss. I think is going to be important to get a Spore off. Because Black White Sleep, I think Sleep in Black White is even worse than it is in RBY. That's just my opinion though, but Marth can definitely win, like I said. He's just got to pressure Skarmory and hope for some focus misses, essentially, from Alakazam. So we're going to go ahead and get in. Marth is going to lead with Amoonguss. I think that's a solid play. Just because Finch is more than likely going to lead Rotom. Sort of. Or he can just get a sleep off. But Finch is going to lead Skarmory, again recognizing that if he can get spikes down versus Marth, then he's going to be in a very strong position. And he's taunt Skarm nonetheless, so Marth can't put the Skarmory to sleep. If Marth put the Skarmory to sleep, that would be huge, but he is taunt, so user Blackweed is typed CT, yes, no. And that's pretty much what it's looking like. Switch to T-Tars coming in, probably predicting Heatran. Maybe Slowbro or something along those lines, but Heatran more than likely. And, yeah, I mean, Finch could, in theory, go to Rotom there, but T-Tar's pretty solid. Heatran's going to get rocks up, and the Gentleman's Pact is going to go down right here. Both these guys are going to be exchanging their rocks. Rocks aren't really that bad for either of their teams. It's spikes that's really the issue, although, like I said, it's a much bigger issue for Marth than it is for Finch. Seeing as how... Actually, the only 2 mons that Finch has that gets affected by spikes are T-Tar and Garchomp, and Garchomp, I don't think, is going to be a big player in this matchup. Ooh, Toxic Miss, that's no good. For Marth, of course, if you're rooting for Finch, then that's fantastic, because now Rotom has longevity, and Rotom's always nice to just do Rotom things, pivot, be annoying. Protect's going to go down. I guess Scouting whether or not Finch wants to Hydro Pump to get damage on the Heatran initially or Volt Switch initially. I don't think that... I think that play is just redundant. I mean, it wastes PP, so I guess it's technically good for Marth, but I don't really see what that gives you because you're not getting lefties. Maybe to coax Finch into thinking that you're going to switch. Like I said, I think it's just a mind game thing more than anything. So, like I said, I don't think it's a bad play. I just think it wastes, like, turns. We have Volt Switch is going to go out. Finch goes to Zam, predicting Toxic, because if you're going to make that aggressive play to stand, you most likely really want that Toxic. I guess it's an alright play because you have plenty of other stuff to deal with Latios. And outside of Latios and Skarm, which you can be at any health for Skarm, then it's not that big of a deal. Ooh, nice from Finch right there, having Encore Alakazam, something that I'm a big fan of. If I had to pick my favorite Zam set, I'd say Encore is definitely up there. Calm Mind is another good one. Actually, I have one that's so bad, but it is one of my personal favorites from the noob days. Back when I was still playing on Wi-Fi only. It's Trick Room Zam to counter all the other Trick Room users. And then I used to be such a huge stunner because I played this one guy who was like page 1 on the ladder or something. And he got there with a Trick Room team. And I clicked Trick Room. And I predicted him every single time to use Trick Room. And he just got so bad because I was using Trick Room Zam and I just predicted him every single time. But yeah, Marth has to switch out of there. He chooses to go to Slowbro to counter that. Finch more than likely predicts that. Or just decides to go to Rotom anyway because... Yeah, he had to have predicted that because Rotom coming in on Toxic is no bueno. So Volt Switch more than likely comes out. And we'll more than likely see Garchomp. The T-Tar, since we know the T-Tar has Rock, so that means the Garchomp set's going to be a little more interesting. Is it Choice Scarf, perhaps? I don't think so on this type of team. It's basically between like Sub Yachi or Sub Slack, more than likely. It could be the rare Mixed Chomp without Stealth Rocks. Because sometimes that is a thing, and they carry Surf and the non-Stealth Rock move slot to hit Gliscor and Landorus T. Usually, though. I wonder what HP Ice Garchomp would do, and if that would do more than Surf. If that's the case, sign me up for HP Ice Garchomp. Not really, though. But yeah, SD is going to come out. So the question is it Select or Yachi? Why did I say Sub Yachi? Yachi doesn't usually carry Sub. If it's going to be Sub Select, or if it's not Sub Select, it's usually like Sub Leftovers. Although Sub Yachi is not a bad set. I'm a fan of it, but that's not what they usually run. So SD comes out to a KO on Slowbro, and we do see Yachi there. So the third and final move is probably Fire Fang. That's what they usually are. Sometimes they're Stone Edge or something, but more than likely not in this gen because you don't need to worry about random flying coverage unless you're really scared of dragons, but even then, you're better off running Ice Fang. In that case, unless, yeah, you're better off just running Ice Fang. But wait, you're a Garchomp, you just run Dragon Claw. So, I don't know. He's Aqua Tail, though, in the final move slot. So I was just talking about Surf, and I forgot to mention Aqua Tail, but I was mentioning Ice Fang and a bunch of bad options. So Finch predicts that Skarm switch rather nicely, and gets rid of Skarmory, so that's excellent play from Finch. I'm over here just acting a fool, and Finch may have made the play that just won him the game. Actually, no, Skarmory was not as important for Marth as it is for Finch. But Skarmory is nice, because, especially because it's Sash Zam, and I don't know what that damage is. That looks Fizdef, because +2 Aqua Tail to Spadef I would imagine would be doing much more. So it's not as big of a deal as if it were Spadef, because Zam is Finch's way of winning. That's besides the point. We also see that the Tyranitar is Choice Scarfed here, so Finch hits Focus Blast, then he's in a good spot. He does hit Focus Blast. And it's pretty much GG from this point, because Skarm isn't that big of a deal because of all the Spike immunes. T-Tar going down, however, is very nice for Finchinator. If Marth wanted to win, he needs some of those Focus Blasts to miss, and Finch take out his glasses, so... we see Slowbro coming in, we see Heatran coming out. I think what Marth is trying to do right here is use his regen team to try and stall Finch out of Focus Blasts. That's what I think his play is, and then I would imagine that we see Heatran go for Protect here, and then maybe see some aggressive playmaking as far as staying and switching out on some Shadow Balls, trying to do some mind games with Finch. But Finch doesn't want to have any part of it, so we're gonna see the thingamabob. We're gonna see the Rotom coming in, as Heatran doesn't even Protect right here. It goes for Lava Plume. Oh, Focus Blast doesn't take it out from there because Finch is Focus Sash. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Focus Blast, how much does it do? Like 55 to 60? I might be crazy on that roll, but I think 60 is like max, and Heatran was at 61. So Finch couldn't even stay in. Well, I mean, he could have because he has Sash and all that, but you don't want Sash broken when you have a Water type to go out to, and then you have T-Tar to go out to after that. And I would imagine that T-Tar carries Superpower at the minimum. If not Superpower, Earthquake, so we're going to see Heatran switch out right here. Obviously, because Rotom can just go for Hydro Pump, and it doesn't even have to go for Hydro Pump, we can just go for Volt Switch. All you have to do is get it to Alakazam Focus Blast range. Or you can just go to T-Tar, and then scare it out, and just go for Stealth Rocks and stuff, so Mungus comes in, Zam more than likely coming in to KO. If Finch wanted to be ultra safe, he could go to Skarmory, because if that's like Spadef Amoonguss, then you go for Psychic, it might live. And if it's Fizdef and you go for Psyshock, it might live. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even matter because you're toxic, so never mind. Like I said, you could, if you wanted to be ultra safe, you could do that, but Zam is better anyway because you don't lose momentum from that. And you might give Marth just a little momentum back by sending in Skarmory. And I'm pretty sure Psychic just KOs anyway, so just ignore everything that I'm saying. I'm just absolutely crazy, but Psychic comes in for Slowbro, Spadef drop out here looking like RBY. So you see switch probably, I'd say Mungus is the most useless, so I'd say an Amoonguss sack. Heatran, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think Heatran is the second most useful behind Excadrill. Excadrill is definitely the most useful, and Heatran's the second most useful, so I think Marth is misplaying a little, not just sacking Amoonguss. I mean, you need focus misses to happen, that's just a fact of life, and you just have to go for it. Trying to play around it, unless you're trying to stall Focus Blast, which is what I thought Marth's entire sequence was. If that's your game plan, then okay, but you're not doing a very good job of it, so Marth not playing optimally right now. And we also see another Spadef drop, so Heatran is once again in Focus Blast range. So like I said, Amoonguss should be going here, but no, Heatran goes. And yeah, like I said, I think that Excadrill is your most useful, because it beats pretty much everything once Skarmory and Alakazam are gone. And Heatran will beat Skarmory for you. I suppose you could say Slowbro will do that, but then you lose to Rotom. And like I said, Excadrill and this gen carries Mold Breaker all the time because Sandstorm plus Sandrush is banned. So it'll beat Rotom. So Marth says GG, not able to dodge a Focus Blast. I think he should have sacked Amoonguss right there to try and stall for more Focus Blasts. Like I said, if that's your game plan, then just stick with it, especially because I think Finch used 3 or 4 Focus Blasts. Solid play from Finch, brought a standard but reliable team structure, and then just executed, I think, as best he possibly could. Marth had to make some plays right there, especially involving Alakazam Focus Blast, and he did not make those. Like I said, I think he did not value his Heatran enough and valued his other mons too much, because his Heatran was pretty key to winning the game, especially as we got to the mid and late game. But basically, like I said at the very beginning, what it comes down to is you got to prevent spikes from going up, which he did do technically. Spikes did not go down at all, but what he also didn't do is he did not dodge any Focus Blasts, and like I said, he could have probably played a little bit better around them to stall Finch out of Focus Blasts, but still at the end of the day, unless that's Scarf Excadrill, I don't think Marth brought a very good team at all. Even if it is Scarf Excadrill, I don't think he brought a good team. Bringing that many ground weeks in a metagame that's more dominated by spikes than ADV, which is really hard to imagine. is not that good, especially when you have all those other Spike's immunes from Finch, like Skarmory, Rotom, Latios, Alakazam. Just not a very good team from Marth, and he didn't make the best possible plays, but he also didn't have the luck that needed to go in his favor. So a lot of negatives from Marth, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, it's all play from Finchinator. We're probably gonna see Finch at least once more on the channel before SPL ends, just because Finch is that dude, and I know him pretty well. But yeah, it's gonna be that. Look out for more SPL action, and later, guys.